So what is going on, my good friends? So right now, if you can see this terminal, okay, let us first start with the elephant in the room. So I've been away for almost a year now, and I really appreciate, despite me being away for that long, I've been getting subscribers, comments, and also likes to my videos, which is really amazing. So thank you so much, guys. So right now, if you can see this, I just created a new React project in this terminal, and it's here. It's called a chat application. So if you remember, if you've been watching my videos, then there's a video that I created that was creating a chat application in Vue.js, and I used backend Django using GraphQL. So in this video series, we'll be basically building it in React. So it's still the same series, I believe, but now for React. And in the last front end, I used Vuejs and a template that already existed. I think it was from somewhere, Bootstrapias or something. I don't remember. You guys, if you want to build in Vue, you can go check it out. But this is what we'll be building basically. So it's totally different front end interface from what I did in the previous video, but I think this one will be more interesting because we'll be building it in tailwind css and reactjs, and we'll be doing everything. So in fact, let us see what happens. So this is an empty Vuejs folder. So let us open folder, and then inside my desktop I have something called tutorial, and this is the project I just created. If you can see in the terminal, so it means that it has nothing basically, so we are doing it together. So select the folder, and the juicer is loaded. Yes, I trust the obviously, because and this is a plain template that Create React App gives you, if you see. So let us see what happens. So to start a React app, I believe you know it's npm start basically. Okay, not static. It's npm start. So this one starts a React app project, and you see now it's here. It's opening the browser, loading the application, and this is it. So this is the application that the npx Create React App gave us. So this will always happen when you use the command to create a project. So what we need to do now is edit this to fit what we need, because it's really simple from here, because you have several files and the configure. You don't need to start setting up everything. So I told you that we'll be using Tailwind to build this application. So just after that, what we want to do is, we did already this. We've already done this because opening VS Code does that automatically. So what we need to do is go back to our folder, which is this, and let us open a new terminal because I don't want to even end. But I guess we will start the server just because we are changing some few things in the project folder, but hopefully if we don't need to, then we won't. But we did that. So we installed Tailwind post CSS and the auto prefixer, which is something that Tailwind uses, post CSS and auto prefixer. So I think you should be using the latest React, which is almost version 5. I think 5 React 5. So for you to use Tailwind in this way, if you're using an older React, then I think you have to go through some tussle to get it working. But it's not so hard. So let us do that. So npx install Tailwind, and then just npx Tailwind CSS in it. So we are initiating a Tailwind configurations basically here, and that is it. So it created this file and post CSS, as you see over here. So post CSS config, which is configuration for Tailwind and auto prefixer. If we need anything specific, you can do there, but what we'll be working on mostly is this one, Tailwind. So this one is the configuration file for Tailwind. Maybe I should make this larger. Yep, not so bad. And then, yep, I think not so bad actually, just clear. So this is what we have. Now what we need to do is add the configurations as we are told over here. So for now, I think I'll just split this way and this one so that you guys can see. So I'll take this content and replace it here, because we want it to be auto-loading the CSS and everything we do. And then also index.css file, add this. So right now we have the default styles that React create app brings, but we want that. And then finally they're telling you to start the application, which we know we already did. So we can just end this and then start again, just for the sake, but I think we can do that. So this index.css, just make sure that it's also imported in app index.js file. So that is it. No utility classes are detected in your source file. So for us to use Tailwind initially, then Tailwind is basically utility based. The reason I did not introduce Tailwind is because I think most of you guys already know about Tailwind, but if you don't know, then Tailwind is a utility based CSS library. So like basically the classes are named just the way you would almost style the CSS. For instance, if you want padding of maybe you want background to have maybe red background, then you say BG, which is background red. And like something like you will be saying info, BTN info or something like that, or maybe I know you know how you do it in Bootstrap. So this is utility based, so the classes are basically almost the same as the style. So it's really easy to get used to if you know CSS already. So that is why most people already love it, and its popularity is growing exponentially actually. So let us go here and let us test what I just said. So I removed everything in app.js. So basically all these things just were removed. So we don't need you, and yeah, we don't have to delete them for now. We can just leave them, and then we can say here hello world. Okay, I know you guys are not beginner programmers, so don't worry, but maybe just to make sure that everything works. So we can say that the class name for this is maybe BG red and then 300. So we are giving it background red of 300. So it ranges from all the way from 100, which is almost very light, all the way to 900, which is very strong red. So we can say background red of 300. And then if we want it to have padding of maybe 10, padding X, we can say padding of 10. So you see this one gives the padding of 10, which is, I think, what is the rem? It's 5 rem. Padding of 20 is 5 rem. So you see this one I'm using VS Code, so it gives this for both. So you see it's like it's that easy. So padding of 20, you could play with these values and see the thing you like, and you almost get used to as you go. So padding of 20. So if for instance we wanted the X and Y to have different padding, then we could have said that we want padding of Y, which is here and here, to have padding of Y of 20, and then padding of X, we want it to be a bit smaller, maybe something like 3, you see, which is very close to the edge. So that is it. You could also say padding bottom, which is really nice. Padding bottom, you see now it becomes padding bottom only, not padding Y, which is really nice. So that is it. So we know that Tailwind is configured to work for our project, and we have a basic React application. So what we can do now is start configuring this application, because we know we are building a chat application, which is here. Is there a way to collapse this? I don't think. So we have this. So I'll be leaving the link in the description. So if you want to go and get hold of this, it's in the community. So that is why I'm allowed to share it, because basically I'm not a very good designer. So it's in the community, so you can use it if you want. Figma for community. So this is it. So we have, I don't know, maybe if community, I think it should be free. I've not read that their terms and conditions or anything like that, but I believe it should be free for use for anyone. So this is what we want, and the link is in the description. So let us configure it. We know it's a chat application, so for chat application we know that basically there are some technicalities that we will meet on the way. So something like Redux is something that is almost guaranteed that you will use. Yeah, I think Redux is something that is guaranteed that we will use. So we can get the elephant in the room sorted as soon as possible, so that it doesn't start feeding on us as soon as we are hungry to do something. So let us handle that. So inside index.js, we basically need to configure the Redux. So let us first get a file called store, and then this store is store for our global states, which is Redux. And then inside here we normally have reducers. I know different people have different ways of doing these things, but I'll show you the way I normally do it. So I normally have a file called reducers, which will be handling the state itself, and then action, which will be the trigger of state, something like functions, which will be updating the states and wherever. So we have those two folders, and then inside both of them, it's something so simple. I just want to have index.js in both, but if they'd be having several things, then I would create for each. For instance, authentication, for instance, and we might meet that on the way. But for now, let us just go with the minimal Redux configuration. And then inside index.js, we want to do some few things. So I'm making coffee, and I hear my coffee is heating up somewhere there, so I have to attend to it, and then I'll come back very quick. So this is the file. So let me enlarge this because we are not dealing with the browser. So inside index.js, I want us to configure the Redux so that I can read these few things. So I'll import some few things. So first of all, let us import composer combined reducers, because we might need to combine several reducers. So as I told you, we might have a few things in future. So this is it, but we haven't installed. So npm install first reducer. Okay, Redux. Npm install Redux, just to get it sorted. So we need to install Redux, we need to install React Redux, and some few things. And then npm install React Redux, and then finally we can install the Redux thing, which I think I could have combined all of them, but since I'm that stupid, let us just go with what I decided to do. But I can create another terminal and say npm install that. So I think this one is finished. Yeah, this is finished. So we are importing this, and then I realized that Redux just removed the create store recently from their main code base, but they still store it in legacy. So instead of importing create store from here as we used to do, right now we are importing it as legacy create store because it's being deprecated. As you can see, they are recommending using configure store from toolkit. So if you guys can do that, so you can go and instead of using create store, you can start replacing the code with that. And then let us compose enhancer, something like this. So we're using compose or the Redux dev tool extension if it will exist. If you guys want to to change some values in the browser states or something, I know you know how that is done, the extension for Redux in the browser. So we are importing a few things. So you see, I just had I thought I imported these previously, so I am importing provider from Redux, and then thong, and then general from the reducer. So basically this index.js, I'm calling its reducer general, and that is it. I'm combining the reducer. So if for when I'll be having the out, I'll just come here and say out, and then it will be out. So that's why I'll be combining, how I'll be combining them. But for now we can just go with the simple one, which is this. And then finally let us create our store, which is created in this way. So the store is just this create store, and then finally our reducer uses something different, not just the normal way it does this one. And then I don't need to report web vitals or anything, so I can remove this dust. I don't want to have a lot of things to deal with here. And by now our store is actually configured to work, except our index basically doesn't have anything, which is fine for now, but we can start using it. So we can start coding, at least this way the thing is sorted. For instance, we can test that it's working if we go to our app. Where is it? App.js. Instead of using this function, we can use the arrow component. So React Redux plus React Redux functional component with export. So React Redux component with export. So that is it. RRFs, wherever that works for you. If you guys can write this, then it's fine. So, but we just need to import the one that already has the states and the props from the global state, which is Redux. So we are importing this. So by now everything should continue working well in the application if everything happened well. So you see we have it here. I thought I had styles. Did I remove the styles? Did you guys see me remove the styles? First of all, let me delete this. And then inside our app.js, yeah, I removed the styles, but yeah, I think, okay, my bad guys. So I think class name is maybe text byte, and then vg maybe slate 600, just to see how slate looks like. Yeah, and you see there we have it. It's almost some gray color there, and I think that means that it still works. So I think I don't want to make this video so long. We can stop this video here, and then in the next video we can start working on creating this interface now that we have a lot of things sorted out. So goodbye guys, don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate the fact that when I was away you guys continued watching my videos and liking the videos. I really appreciate very much. So goodbye and have a nice time.